Obviously excited with the news that came out last week on Friday and the energy and enthusiasm that our kids and everyone in the building has had. Really want to thank our leadership from our athletic director and our president and really the MAC conference office for everything that they did to revisit the decision and to attack this thing the right way and to give our kids and this great conference an opportunity to play some ball this fall. And excited for the release of the schedule, but enjoying the day-to-day process of playing some football, getting back to some sense of normal, and doing all the things that are required to play ball this fall. And it's an exciting time around Flash Fast football here.
All right, guys. If you guys have questions, again, please use the raise hand feature or type into the chat here that you have a question. I will ask you to unmute, and we'll conduct the press conference in that way. Coach, just a quick question kind of from our end. Just talk a bit about the unique nature in this kind of dead sprint, not only for the 6 games, but basically getting a month to prepare in what's been a stop and start kind of preseason.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate here in our Flash Fast family where our kids from the very beginning, when we've been able to get them back on campus in mid-June, of being really resilient and being very focused on the things that we're asking them to do. They've really shown tremendous self-discipline and really personal ownership of the situation and the unique circumstances that are taking place. And obviously it's different than what it's ever been, but that's what everyone's experiencing in any walk of life right now. So, our kids have been very receptive to the new procedures, the new protocols, the new policies that have been put in place. We're leaning on the sports medicine people and obviously all the guidelines from national, state levels. And our kids have done a great job following that. And now we're going to be smart and continue to button up and tighten down everything that we need to do because now we're playing ball. And we place tremendous value on doing that. So anytime, anything in life, it's something we talk about our kids a bunch, is that if something has really, really high value, then obviously you're going to need some tremendous amount of discipline and some, show some sacrifices and restraints. And again, I say all those words not in a negative way, but just that this is what it takes to do something that you love, and we're gonna do what it takes.
Once again, guys, if you have a question, simply either type that you have a question in the chat or use the raise hand feature, and then I will call on you for you guys to ask your question to the head coach, Sean Lewis. And Coach Kyle, just looking at this season as a whole, just talk about the excitement that this good group of seniors, obviously coming off the bowl win last year, just get one more shot to kind of end things on their terms during a traditional season.
Yeah, well, it's a great opportunity. Obviously, we ended on a high note and carrying that through to our off-season program and everything that's transpired. There's some real expectations that are on the program, which is what we want. If you don't have expectations going into a season, you're not doing things the right way. So our kids have put forward tremendous work and have gotten to this place to where there's some more respect when you talk about Kent State football, which is great. And to have them have an opportunity to go out and compete and live up to those expectations day in and day out, they've embraced. And we're looking forward to the opportunity when that comes.
We've got a question from Owen McMillan. Owen, go ahead and unmute and please ask your question to head coach Sean Lewis.
Hi, Coach. Owen McMillan here with Kent Wired. Just wanted to ask you, with the MAC-only schedule, does that change your preparation for the season at all? And are you concerned at all about going into MAC games without those out-of-conference games beforehand?
We're very process oriented. We want to take care of our home first and foremost. So it's not going to change our preparation in a huge way with that. Our number one thing when it comes to our plan to win is to control our controllables and give ourselves a chance to win. So we're spending a lot of time right now focusing on that. The uniqueness, Owen, is that obviously we don't know who our first opponent is right now. So it's a little hard to get ahead into game plan and to kind of start peeking over, those opponents, where in the past we would know where we were starting the season. Hey, we were playing Penn State. We had done preparations for Penn State in the offseason. Right now we're sitting here, and that's kind of the uniqueness of this situation, is that come November 4th, I don't know who that opponent's going to be, but I know that our kids will be excited to play, and I know our staff will do a tremendous job to make sure that they're ready to roll.
Again, if you have a question for head coach Sean Lewis, we ask you to use the raise hand feature. We will ask you to unmute and answer your question with head coach Sean Lewis. And coach, looking at this last few months, what has been the most challenging aspect in whether it be just the message you had to send to your team, both good and bad, to the up and down practices. What has been the biggest challenge for you guys in this unique season?
I think there's just been a great opportunity for growth, Dan. And that's really kind of the way that we've looked at it from the beginning, that this has all been an opportunity for our young people, that it's a special gift that they were given to where they're facing real adversity. And they're getting to face it with their teammates, with the support structure of our Flash Fast family, from our administrators, our sports medicine people, our academic support, all of our mental health agents that we have here as well, for them to really take a step back and kind of detach emotionally a little bit and look at this as a growth opportunity. Where can they look at and see, where they're strong, maybe where they're weak, where they need some help, and to really kind of take some just take a breath to see where they can grow. And I think when you look at it through that lens, as opposed to this is some challenge that we can't overcome or some mountain that we can't climb, if you look at it through the lens of, and with the perspective that this is an opportunity to grow and change, and know that growth and change comes with a little bit of discomfort, that you're going to be better for it. And I truly believe when this started, that if we handled this thing the right way, if we responded to this crazy event the right way, the outcome of it would be that we would have a strong, close-knit family, which we already had to begin with. But, I mean, we've really pulled tight through this and really maximized this opportunity to grow and get better as a family and improve daily, which is what we talk about day in and day out. So really, really pleased and really, really proud of the way our staff and, more importantly, the kids have handled this opportunity to grow.
Again, if you've got a question for head coach Sean Lewis, please use the raise hand feature. Coach, some of the things that have kind of crossed my mind through all of this has got to be one of your first opportunities in a long, long while, outside of maybe a bye week, to actually watch regular season college football. Have you guys as a group been able to do that and kind of just enjoy the game that you've devoted your life to? And if so, can you gain anything from watching teams that have kind of started their season early and kind of use it as a launching off point of maybe finding some new ideas, or at least just enjoying the game and relaxing for an afternoon?
Yeah, it's been unique in that regard, to where you can sit down and be a fan of the game that you love. And it's kind of a unique thing to where, when I grew up and I fell in love with the game because I'd sit on the couch Saturday mornings or Saturday afternoons with my dad, and he introduced the game to me, and having a young son myself, to be able to, these first few weeks before everything got ramped up, just sit on the couch with him and him just ask who's winning, and I'm cheering for that team, or I'm cheering for the team in orange because that's his favorite color. I mean, that's just been some pretty unique experiences that we don't get. So we've really savored those. And there's some opportunities always that we highlight to our kids of, teams around the country, whether they're the NFL or college, when they're doing things, the right way, that we point to. So there's been numerous examples of that. And so it's been cool on a personal and a professional level to just kind of be able to take a deep breath and not be rushing from one week to the next, and Bears are still undefeated. And as a Bears fan, I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, when we go back to you, we ask you to please unmute and ask your question for head coach Sean Lewis.
Hey, so Coach, I'm assuming that all the guys on the team were following the Council of Presidents vote and the MAC announcement pretty closely. But after you had to break the news to them late in summer camp that they wouldn't be playing, initially when the season was canceled, what was it like to kind of get back in after that first time, and just kind of how different did that feel, the announcement this time?
Are you talking about the announcement to play, or
yeah.
back when the season was canceled, Owen?
So kind of, after you had to make the announcement that the season was canceled, how did it feel to kind of be able to say, to take that back and say, no, we are going to play?
Obviously that was a tremendous sense of joy, and really just to share with our kids. There wasn't anything really major that I had to say, because we knew that vote was going on. And I think everyone was constantly refreshing their Twitter feeds or waiting for an email from President Deichen and everything. So the kids got the news. And then we went to work as a staff. We had laid out a plan kind of that week, hoping for the best, so that we could start this past Monday. So we tweaked that based off of what the league had sent out for the parameters of how we could practice and the things that we could do. But kids were really, really excited. and it just gave our kids an extra shot of life. Again, to have a purpose and to be chasing and be able to circle a date where they know that they're going to compete, because as much fun as working out is, our kids like playing football. If you want to be the best at working out, go do CrossFit. These guys want to play football and they want to play football games, so they're trained and ready to play a football game now on November 4th. And we're just waiting to hear who that's going to be.
We've got time for a few more questions for head coach Sean Lewis. Again, if you've got a question, please just use the raise hand feature here in this Zoom webinar. Coach, from a recruiting standpoint, obviously 10 different FBS conferences with 10 different kind of ways to go about this season. High school is even more kind of dispersed, state to state, even county to county. How has that been a challenge for you guys? And then kind of the second to that, if a recruit's tape season has been wiped away, how does that kind of affect your overall process in getting a grade on the kid?
Yeah, I mean, it's very unique and case by case the way that recruiting is. I feel for the kids who unfortunately aren't being allowed to play for, various reasons this year. And that's a huge piece of our process. I think we're slower to go than most when it comes to the recruiting process, and we put a tremendous value on senior tape. So for some kids, that's obviously going to impact them. We have been very fortunate, though, with that being said, that because of the success that we had and the way that we finished up last year, we have some really great families that have already, committed to us. And now we have to get creative and utilize this opportunity the way that we're doing here with a Zoom call, different ways to showcase our campus and everything. Because of the extended dead period, we haven't been able to get people to campus and have face-to-face visits the way that we normally would. But again, that's presented opportunities for us to grow as a recruitment department and as a staff to really peel back the layers and get to know these families and who's going to be a good fit for us and our way of doing business.
All right, guys, we got time for a couple more questions for head coach Sean Lewis. Again, just use the raise hand feature in your Zoom, on your Zoom panel. We've got time for one more. Go back to Owen. Owen, please unmute, and you are good to go.
Hey, Coach. Just so testing protocol was supposed to start Monday. How has that testing been? How are the new tests, in comparison to kind of the more intrusive PCR tests? And also, how are you feeling about Nick Foles going forward?
Well, the new testing will begin on August 5th. So I gotta take a rain check on answering that question for you until we jump into August 5th when we start doing the new rapid testing. Nick, obviously big come from behind win, and we're full behind them, Bears all the way.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us here. Again, we'll have a copy of this press conference available on our website, kentstatesports.com, as well as social media. I'll also be able to send you a copy should you want it for your newscast or for your order game quotes. And as also a fellow Bears fan, bear down and go Flashes. We'll see you on November 4th.